Many of you are spending 500, 800, 1,000, 1,500, some of you more than that per month on tools and technology, many of which there is overlap and most of which creates a great deal of overwhelm. For most of us, the reality is, actually for all of us, this is our most finite resource. The one thing that has the greatest impact on you actually writing more contracts and closing more transactions. If you are a real estate agent and you feel like you are drowning in subscriptions, you're paying for this whole big tech stack, technology tools, etc., then I think you are going to really enjoy the next 25 to 30 minutes, which will be invested into sharing with you how smart real estate agents are simplifying their tech stack to close more transactions. This is going to be about a 25 to 30 minute training, and you can relax and settle in because there's nothing for sale. I'm not going to ask you to take your wallet out at any point. I just want to share with you what we have built to address this very real problem that many agents I talk with each and every week are facing, which is they're drowning in subscriptions and all of these things they're paying for, and yet still not making progress on what actually will get them closer to more contracts and ultimately more closed transactions. So how many of you on here are paying for one or more of the following? LandVoice, RedX, MyPlusLeads, Mojo, PropStream, PropWire, Batch Leads, Vulcan 7, Investor Lift, Investor Base, SmartZip, StreetText, YLopo, Zillow Premier Agent, Market Leader, Real Geeks, Realtor.com Pro, Zerpal, Sync, Sold.com, Listings to Leads, Boomtown. The list could literally go on and on and on and on. And if you're like me, you've invested into almost all of these on here at some point in your real estate career. Now, I've got an important question. Why are you paying for these? Or why did you pay for these in the past? Maybe you've had some of these subscriptions in the past and you canceled them because you were drowning in those payments and they weren't actually helping you achieve the results that they were promising or that you believed they would deliver. So why are you paying for them? Well, if you're like me, you want to consistently close more transactions, which means we need to be consistently writing more contracts and making more offers. And to do that, we need to consistently be having more conversations with people who want and need our help, which directly or indirectly is the reason why we pay for all of these tools and tech. The problem is these tools and technology are costing you in more ways than one. Very obviously, there is a financial cost. Many of you on here, myself included, in the past, before we built what I'm going to share with you in the next 25 to 30 minutes, many of you are spending 500, 800, 1,000, 1,500, some of you more than that per month on tools and technology, many of which there is overlap and most of which creates a great deal of overwhelm. Not only is there a financial cost, there's a mental cost to all of this stuff. The decision fatigue, having to log into multiple platforms on a daily basis. I got to go check this, and I got to go check that, and I got to do this, that, and the other thing. And then, of course, there is a time cost. For most of us, the reality is, actually, for all of us, this is our most finite resource. Hours wasted managing tools instead of actually talking to motivated buyers and sellers. The one thing that has the greatest impact on you actually writing more contracts and closing more transactions. Now, how do I know this? Because not all that long ago, I had a Frankenstein together tool and technology stack that was costing me on average $1,200 to $1,500 per month. I had data and lead providers. I was skip tracing. I was using Google Sheets and other spreadsheets. I was using Go High Level as a cold outreach CRM and Listings to Leads and Investor Base. And all of that was costing me $1,200 to $1,500 per month. That's the bad news. The good news is it was actually working. I was actually doing more deals. I was closing more transactions, but it was overwhelming. And it wasn't something that I could duplicate or replicate. In other words, if I wanted to grow, I needed a better way to grow. If I wanted to grow an organization, if I wanted to grow a team, if I wanted to simply increase my production, I needed to find and build a simpler way, which is why my partner Sean and I, the co-founder of LeadDeck.AI, it's why we built this. Because I was drowning in overwhelm and costs and fees, and we set out to build a better way for myself, first and foremost, and then to help other agents struggling or feeling that same struggle. And with LeadDeck, with what we've built, you'll be able to get rid of all of this other stuff that you're paying for. You can get rid of LandVoice and RedX and Vulcan 7 and MyPlus leads or Mojo and some other dialer or PropStream, PropWire, batch leads, Investor Lift, Investor Base. You can stop paying for SmartZip, Street Text, YLopo, Zillow Premier, Market Leader, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on and on and on. And I mean, we don't have a huge crowd here, but I would guess if we opened up the chat, you'd be able to list a whole bunch of other things that you're either currently spending money on or you have in the past. With what we built, you can simply tap your way to more conversations, more contracts, and most importantly, more closings. Now, how can I say that confidently? Well, since we built this platform, this tool, my production has only gone up and my time invested on that side of my business has only gone down. In fact, I have achieved icon status at eXp Realty and yet have been able to create content like this and to help many, many other agents during that time as well. And still be able to spend time with my busy family. I got 4 kids. They all play sports, multiple sports. So I can't be spending all of my nights and weekends on the production side of my business. Now that's great for me, but what about for you? Well, I'm going to share some stories of people using LeadDeck in their business. This is a text exchange that David Glogger and I had recently. David is an agent in Houston, Texas, who has been using LeadDeck for a couple of months now. One of the ways he uses LeadDeck is he exports expired listings from his MLS, which costs him nothing. Well, I mean, he pays for his MLS, but he's not paying for something else to get that data. So he exports expired listings, he imports them to LeadDeck, and then he uses LeadDeck to start reaching out to expired listings. One of which recently, he went out onto an appointment. He almost forgot to ask the magic question, which is, do you have any other properties you might consider selling right now, Mr. or Mrs. Property Owner? And that one expired listing has now turned into 3 potential listings, which when leveraged will likely turn into even more clients and transactions. Janita Floyd, she shared this in our school community. We've got a free school community. Janita's been using the app. She has primarily been working expired listings for sale by owners and pre-foreclosures, all of which she can in one nice little package right on her phone. She says, update. I finished my tour of the property and took pictures. The house needs work, so the cash offer is best for them. We give you that too. Good news, 2 hours before my appointment, the owner referred a tired landlord. So I'm preparing preliminary offers for her tomorrow. She then shared a couple of days ago, good news. Here we are 10 days later with a signed listing agreement. Booyah. That's what we like to see. Let's go. Campbell, he was one of our early adopters using LeadDeck.AI. Incredible tool for real estate agents focused on growth. You can go and find our Google reviews. It's truly transformed the way I do business as a real estate agent. Highly recommend to any agent serious about scaling their business. James Brown, my guy James Brown in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. Controlling the chaos in this business is the main problem I run into. LeadDeck and the 3-step system for using it has given me the playbook and the tool to take my business to a much higher level. I'm grateful for Josh and Sean for building this and sharing it. Thanks so much. I'm not going to read this one because this one's long. But Dana is a new agent, and this has been pretty transformative for her in her business to eliminate or reduce overwhelm and allow her to focus on what will make the biggest difference if you want to close more transactions, which is more conversations with people that want and need our help. From one of the leads that Dana got with and got into conversation using LeadDeck, she has uncovered like a whole bucket full of transactions, a whole bucket full. Now, let me give you some examples of what it looks like to work leads right on your phone with LeadDeck. I took screenshots. Now, here's why, because I wanted to be able to hide private information and details, okay? Right? So I wanted to respect the privacy of the property owners that I want to highlight here. But this is an example of what it can look like to work expired listings in here. You literally export from your MLS and you import into the tool. This is a bucket of 97 expired listings that I imported a couple of weeks ago. Here is one of those contacts. Notice, I have lots and lots of contact information. I've got multiple phone numbers and I've got multiple emails. And all I have to do is tap. I log in and all I have to do is tap my way to more conversations. So I can tap to call right here. I can tap to text. That's what this looks like right here. Or I can tap to email. That's what that looks like right there. Pre-populated and personalized to the recipient. So all I have to do is tap. It pops up and I tap one more time and I send. I don't need a dialer. I don't need any kind of CRM. I don't need anything other than my phone. My phone, and I log in and I just get to work on the one thing that will make the biggest impact on your business, which is more conversations with people that want or need your help and service. Here's a for sale by owner example. Oh, by the way, I used AI to go and get me a list of for sale by owners in Cumberland County. It took all of about 5 minutes. All I did was type on my computer. It gave me a CSV file. I imported that data into LeadDeck, and now I can tap to call, I can tap to text, and I noticed I marked right here, I can enhance the data. So I can go find more information. I can find other phone numbers, other emails, etc. So I can get in touch with this person to see if they're, in this case, for sale by owner, are they still accepting offers on the property? I got a couple other examples, and then I promised to keep this short and sweet, which I'm going to do. I'm going to make good on that promise, but we'll probably have enough time for a little Q&A as well. Here's a pre-foreclosure property, I have circled here a couple of things that I want to highlight. The leads like pre-foreclosure, which by the way, you can pull pre-foreclosure, you can pull absentee owner, you can pull out-of-state absentee owner, you can pull tired landlords, you can pull inherited, you can pull vacant, you can pull senior owners, you can pull high equity, you can pull, oh my goodness, you can stack the filters. So I could say, I would like in this zip code, I would like all of the out-of-state absentee owners that also have an involuntary lien on the property. Talk about motivation. I can do that all in there. And when I do that, when I use that, a couple of things will happen. Number one, it will include a seller signal score. That is an AI-based algorithmic scoring system based on 800 data points on over 11 million properties. And it's scored from 0 to 100. Now, is that a guarantee that this property is going to sell? Not necessarily, but it's valuable and useful information. And the closer to 100, the more likely they are to sell in the next 6 to 9 months. This one in particular has a seller score of 93. 93 out of 100, not too shabby. Also, look at this. They had previously tried to list it and it failed, expired. It's free and clear. It's owner occupied, pre-foreclosure, and notice of sale. Okay. Now, when I open up the lead, look at all this data. I've got multiple phone numbers. Okay. I can tap to call. It'll pop up like this on my phone. I tap the phone button and I tap one more time and it's ringing. I'm getting ready to have a conversation. I can tap to text. When I do that, this will pre-populate. Hey, George, this is Josh with eXp Realty. Just curious, do you still own the property at street address? Which, by the way, is the script that we like to use for off-market sellers, for expired and for sale by owners, without question, by far the most. If you get nothing else from this this training, write this down. This script absolutely is crushing right now with expired and for sale by owners. It's very simply, hi, this is Josh with eXp Realty. Are you still accepting offers for your property at street address? Question mark. That's it. That's it. Now, what happens if they say yes? Well, you can use the free instant offer platform that we provide you to get them offers. Or you can use the tool to find the active buyers in your market who are always on the lookout, always every week looking for properties they can make offers on, which is the last example that I have here. This is a cash buyer example. Now, I mentioned early on in the training a tool that I was using, a software called Investor Base. I was using that because I wanted this data. I wanted to be able to reach out to the cash buyers, the active landlord buyers, the multifamily buyers on properties that I was listing or off-market deals that I was coming across, or the ability to have those pocket buyers so that when I reach out to sellers, I know that we can make an offer. I was paying $250 per month just for that one tool. And it was worth it because it was working. In other words, it was actually getting me more of what I need, which is conversations, contracts, and closings. However, when we set out to build this app, I wanted that to be built in so I could stop that subscription. I could save myself $250 per month. And the way we built it, it's actually better. It's actually better. Here's an example of a cash buyer on an off-market property that I will likely be listing, if not this week, next week. I pulled up this list because while I'm waiting to list the property, I don't just twiddle my thumbs. I go and try and find more clients that are either ready, willing, and able to make an offer on this property, or I find out what they're looking for and I go find them what they're looking for. See, most agents that invest into these tools and technologies, they're conditioned to become passive agents. They're conditioned to, if I just spend this money, business will come find me. And that can happen. But if you're only relying on that passivity, waiting for business to find you, at least in my experience, that's when you have the feast and famine cycles. And that's when the finances can get difficult. What we've built allows you to be a proactive agent, an agent who can proactively fill their pipeline anytime they want or choose. And not only that, with what we built, you could drop me into any market tomorrow morning. And by the end of the week, I will have deals in my pipeline. I will have contracts and offers out on the street, if not accepted, because of what we built and the ability it gives you to proactively fill your pipeline and play the role of matchmaker to bring real value to the marketplace, wherever your marketplace may be. So here's a cash buyer. She owns 9 properties. The value, this is based upon the AVM value of the data that we pay for, that LeadDeck licensees have access to. 1.6 million, 1.5 in equity. That means she has very, very little debt on the property, i.e., AKA a cash buyer. Just like the other data in here, I can tap to call, I can tap to text. Look at this pre-populated message here. It's different because this is a buyer, not a seller, okay? And I can tap to email, again, pre-populated. I love talking with these buyers. And every one of you, if you're serious about this business, you should have in your Rolodex, boy, is that a dated reference. You should have saved in your phone buyers like this, so that when you come across sellers where the best option for them is a cash buyer, is an off-market transaction, you can immediately be the value provider and therefore earn your compensation by playing the role of matchmaker and matching that up. Now, if you're wondering or thinking, well, isn't this just another, tool or tech? And on the one hand, it is. And on the other hand, we built it to eliminate the need for all that other stuff. And if you can use your phone, which all of you on here can use your phone, whether you've got an iPhone or you are using something like a Samsung Galaxy. I'm sorry, that was a little, Apple prejudice. I'm an Apple guy. But regardless, if you have a smartphone, if you can use a smartphone, you can use LeadDeck. You can make this work for you, because all you have to do is log in from whatever your default web browser is on your phone and start tapping your way to more conversations, more contracts, and more closings. This is a lead that I've been working on. This is such a good one. Owns multiple multifamily properties. and I'm 3 feet from gold on listing them. And I also have multiple. I'm not waiting for that. I'm matching up potential buyers while we wait. Here's what this has effectively become for me in many cases. I've created my own personal MLS. We use the analogy that what we built allows you to play real estate go fish. In one hand, we have sellers who are open to an offer. And in the other hand, we have the active, ready, willing, and able buyers. And all we have to do is match them up. And when we do, we're not competing on the open market. We actually earn our compensation by providing real value. So we tend not to have to negotiate so hard or justify our value as much when that happens. And oh, by the way, it just so happens that when you have these cards in your hand, a lot of times they end up doing deals on market, meaning listing, or you find on market transactions for your active, ready, willing, and able buyers. Now, if you're interested or ready to get started, there are two ways that you can get access to LeadDeck. And if you go to LeadDeck.AI, you will see that there is a waiting list, and you have to get an invite to be able to join. There are two ways for you to start using this so you can fire all that other stuff that is just costing you time and money and focus. Number one, we have 3 different licensing packages where you can license what we've built so that you can use it in your own business. Number 2, we have a partner program where you can get a license you can get your license to the tool for free. And the only thing you pay for is when you want or need more leads. And oh, by the way, the most you ever pay for a lead like this or this or this or this, the most you pay per lead is $1. The most. Compared to, I mean, if you're buying leads with Facebook or on Meta, $3, $5, $10, $20 per lead. If you're buying leads from other lead providers, PPL providers, things of that nature, then you're talking $10, $20, $30, $50 per lead. With us, the most you pay, the most is $1 per lead. And you can get that cost down to 50 cents per lead. So once again, there are 2 ways that you can get access. We have 3 different licensing packages, or you can partner with us and get your license for free, and then you just pay whenever you need more leads. And oh, by the way, if you have your own leads, your own data, if you have motivated sellers and you have their contact information, or for example, the for sale by owners that I went and used AI to collect, you don't pay anything for those. You just upload them, and you can use the app for an easier way to just tap your way to more conversations, more contracts, and more closings. So here's what I want you to do. I want you, if you're interested, I want you to get back with whoever invited you here today to explore next best steps. The licensing packages or our partner program or both. It's totally up to you. I want you to just get back to whoever invited you today and just say, hey, this is interesting. I'd like to get more information. Can you tell me about the licensing packages? Can you tell me about the partner program and what that opportunity looks like? Now, we have a little bit of time. I've got 5 minutes for questions, so I'm going to do that. And while I do that, we've got a growing number of great reviews on here. Michael asks, does it have a driving for dollars function like batch leads? I don't know exactly what that looks like, but what I can tell you is if you're out and about and you see a property, you can go right into the app and you tap the skip trace button, you enter the address, and you can immediately pull up the contact info on that property owner. And not only that, I didn't even mention this, okay? But we can integrate, if you have a preferred CRM, like I'm with EXP, we have Bold Trail, we have a couple of different options. I use Bold Trail. I have it integrated so that when I do connect with one of these off-market sellers or active buyers, I can tap a button and push them into my CRM. And I can also tap a button and send them a direct mail or a series of pieces of direct mail. In fact, I got a call yesterday from an out-of-state absentee owner that on one of my lives last week, all I did was tap a button. I tapped 2 buttons to add them to a direct mail list because I couldn't get a hold of her. She called me yesterday. and she's going to be in town later this month, and we're going to take a look at the property and explore whether or not we're just going to sell it outright or get it listed on the market. Great question. Thank you, Michael. Tony, I hope I answered this for you. Does LeadDeck get phone numbers and emails to contact them? Yes, lots. And it depends on the property and the contact. Sometimes it's sometimes it's a couple of phone numbers and a couple of emails. Sometimes we get 10 phone numbers and 3 emails. It just depends. But we get all of the data that is available for those property owners. Somebody said you're too young to know about a Rolodex. I remember those things. My dad had one. I remember my dad having one on his desk when I was a wee lad. A wee lad. I'm a goon. All right. Once again, if you are interested, if you're intrigued, if you are an agent who feels overwhelmed and like you're drowning in all of these subscriptions and this tech stack, etc., like I was, and you want to explore what it would look like to start using LeadDeck in your business, to start tapping your way to more conversations, more contracts, and more closing, I'm going to highly recommend you get back to whoever invited you, and you can explore either the licensing packages or our partner program or both. You can also get back with them to answer any questions. If they invited you here, it's because they believe in what we're doing and they believe and are actively using this in their business as well. I think that's the best testimonial that I could share for what we're doing. So once again, get back to whoever invited you, get more information, choose which option makes the most sense, and let's get you rolling. Let's help you eliminate the overwhelm, drastically save save money on the monthly expenses that you're incurring. And most importantly, okay, now that's great. Let's keep more of the money you're bringing in. Let's also bring in a lot more by proactively having the ability, using this to fill your pipeline at will. Whenever you want, have more conversations to be writing more contracts and closing more transactions. Tommy, nobody invited you. Well, if you're here and no one specifically invited you, it means I'm the one who invited you. That's a great question. So just get back with me, Tommy, and we'll connect the dots for you. And we can get a time scheduled to explore which of these options makes the most sense for you in your business. Thanks again, everyone, for coming and spending 30 minutes here as promised. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I hope you got value from this, and look forward to connecting with you and welcoming you into our LeadDeck community sooner than later.